Continuing the success of their initial Enjoying Postcards podcast and subsequent feature film, Jack and Dylon's story temporarily evolves into the 19-episode odyssey of Postcards and Shit, presented here for the first time in short film format. So, I want to start off by saying something like, "Hi, it's Jack and Dylon with Postcards and Shit. This is the continuation of our Enjoying Postcards podcast, but we've upgraded our equipment a little bit. We have a stereo microphone now, and we've updated the format of our podcast a little bit, where we're going to talk about not only postcards, but some of the other shit that we do, including some of the projects that we work on together. So Dad and I have been doing collaborative projects for a number of years. We probably started out originally doing costuming. Later on, it was working on stained glass together. We made videos together. But one of the other things that we've made quite a few of now are books. Probably our first collaborative effort together was this one. A lot of folks who know me know this book. It's The Art of Chainmail. It was originally published in 2002, but we started working on it in 1998 with you doing the illustrations.
Yeah, they were the first illustrations I did.
The very first illustrations you did.
And I did them twice because they weren't right the first time.
And we had to do them again, and then they still weren't right. So then I spent another 2 years teaching myself how to do the 3D design that finally went into The Art of Chainmail.
Now, did Al print those first out in Lake Minnevoy?
That was our really good friend, Al McClure, down at Big Lake with Expertronics, printed the first editions. If you have a first edition of this, it'll have a different cover on it that was hand laminated. It might have curled a little bit, and it might have been signed by me. So the next project that we worked on after that, we actually did Misery Bay, which was our award-winning video in 2000. But then the next book that we worked on, we started on somewhere around 2003, 2004. I'd always wanted to do a graphic novel, and so you hand drew all the illustrations of these with a pencil, and it's a very unique style.
Yes, but it created you a lot of problems now,
Well,
didn't it?
exactly. All of these pages are digitally composed, so I took the original elements of the image, scanned them, and then put them together, which meant I had to clean all the pencil marks off of these. It took us a really long time. And then the book actually sat in the can for an entire decade before we got it finally funded in 2014. And that was part of our white store that we had down at the Gorbet Harbor Center. And they were nice enough to support us with an advertisement on the back cover. Now, the book we did after that, and you can see down there the drawing tablet that we still use. The first thing that you created on that drawing tablet was the Manitoulin Island coloring book. That came after the tragedy of the Asia, and all of these drawings were originally done on that. But it took us how many years to get this out? I think it was 14 years. Sure. 14 years for this one to see the publication. This is the one we saw in publication last year. We've had 2 print runs of this now. Very, very popular. We're still selling these 14 locations on the island, and this is what leads into, of course, our Coloring Manitoulin, which is our 2017 coloring book project, and that's what we're going to be showing you different footage of. I've really enjoyed.
We're going to get into, as we're going along creating the book, we'll start showing that on your podcast.
Well, you know that I really like doing time lapses, so we've been creating time lapses of us doing the work on the book, and we're going to start showing some of those, and then we're going to do voiceovers talking about what we're doing, and hopefully offer a little behind-the-scenes introspection into the project.
And I play the voice of Jack.
You play the voice of Jack. I'm Dylon, who plays the voice of Dylon and does all the technical work to make the podcast go. And I suppose we should show the other project that we did, which was Manitoulin Illustrated, and this is the one that was done closest to its actual publication in 2016, so it's 11 years old now. But we created this really nice history book with all these beautiful illustrations. Again, they were all created on the drawing tablet. Again, all composed.
This is the first one I drew on the tablet.
Yeah, you did everything on the tablet.
The other way of drawing was just too dirty.
Yeah. This one was a little bit easier to put together, although it was quite a bit of work in its own right. I think it's really neat because we took a lot of the old island stories, which I find to be really dry. I call them the equivalent of mental sandpaper, and we turned them into nice stories. They're really easy to read. They have illustrations. It's a much more accessible way to look at at history. Oh, and that's something we never mentioned about the tragedy of the Asia. After we published it, it was used by Bowling Green University in Indiana for one of their courses, and that was the first time that they ever used a graphic novel for one of their, I think it was marine history, so they had books in the course. Something else interesting is all the font in the book is Comic Sans Serif. So, for all the fans out there of Comic Sans Serif, there's a really good example of that. And I guess that's basically it. This is the introduction to our new podcast, and I hope you keep watching. So the other thing that I wanted to say is that we have a brand new website at enjoyingpostcards.whitesonline.com. We've put together a really neat site with a whole bunch of resources for postcard collectors, and we've also included information on how you can support our podcast. We have a GoFundMe campaign, we have a Patreon site, we have affiliate links, there's lots of information, lots of neat postcards, so take a look at it, and thank you for following us, thank you for subscribing to us, thank you for sharing us, that's absolutely wonderful. This has been Dylan with Postcards and Shit.
And I'm Jack, and I'm full of shit.
And we have a lot of shit to talk about. This is a time-lapse I got the other day that I thought was just fun. Look, it's sunny, it's a blizzard, it's sunny, it's a blizzard, it's sunny, it's a blizzard, it's sunny, it's a blizzard.
Oh shit, they're fantastic.
Okay, so this is the first one that I did, and this is with the camera on my chest. So it's basically drawing in an earthquake. Although you're getting that real first-person perspective from it. And it's the one picture of the piano with the oxen pulling the piano up the hill that I'm tracing.
Well, Jesus. Guess if you were drunk, it'd be steady.
Yeah. If I upload this, YouTube's going to be giving me messages like, your video is shaky. Would you like us to help you stabilize it?
Yeah.
But that's just the nature of this sort of time lapse. This was the first one that I did. I said, you know what? We need to start making videos for our podcast. So that was my first one. And you can see it got a little bit low in my chest.
Yeah, well.
And something else is interesting to notice here. Do you notice how the red was also oranging out a little bit? Okay, so the next day, I put the camera sort of against, or just hanging on top of the monitor. And I got this angle when I was working on a picture from the Asia. And I really like this one. The red was red, and you could really see. And then the hand was the only thing that was moving beside the image.
And how long did it take you to... how long did you draw to get this?
Each one of these minute time lapses is approximately 3 hours of drawing. Probably a little bit more. Although you'll see that there's gaps in them, because you'll ask me to look up something on the internet or something like that, so I'll be out here. There's going to be a gap in the video in the middle of it. Or I got to drink a water or take a leak or something like that. The Asia one's really neat. But then I realized I also have the picture that I drew that was from Manitoulin Illustrated of the steamer coming into Kagawong. So we don't really need 2 pages with steamers coming into port. Figure out something to do with it. Okay, so in this one is where I started drawing the one that was in the backyard. So this one's on a tripod and it's over my left shoulder. And interestingly enough, I think you noticed it move a few times. I don't know if the foot was on the tin or what was bumping it. Okay, here's one of those pauses where I was having a great time with this one because it had so many curves in it. It was really easy to draw. Da-da-da-da-da.
Well, you can see what you're doing.
Yeah. That was the other point, was like, can you tell what we're doing? The red really helps with that. I like drawing in the red. Not only can I see it over the black, but it's also the camera's picking it up. And it's not oranging out like it was in the other jittery one, quite as bad.
It doesn't really tell you what you're drawing.
Well, in each one, I tried to pull out at the end, although it's usually very fast. I should have, sometimes maybe left it up for a little bit longer to see. But also, if we're making podcasts out of these, we could show up what the page looked like. Like I could take it and drop it into the film.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one I had the camera mounted kind of like across the thing.
So and then it's upside down?
Well, it was rotated 90 degrees, so I had to turn it back up, and so you ended up with this very tall video. And it was a little bit dark, and this is me working on the art again. I didn't like this one as much as far as the videos went. It's as far as the format went, this was one of the... There was ones that sort of worked better and some that didn't. This one came off like... It was funny because like I guess it just went contrasty with the light coming in the door in the background.
Yeah, it's not explainable. You don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah. Now here's sort of a reverse angle. I wanted to get the piece on the wall and whatever in the background of it. This is one of these days when I started up, and then I had to help Sue with her computer or something like that. So I ran over, helped Sue with her computer. Oh, this is where I started tracing in the clock in the schoolroom. I thought it was really, I didn't know if we'll use the clock or not, but I wanted to trace it out to see if I could draw it.
Yeah, you got a good clock.
Yeah. Well, we lived with the clock for years.
Well, it's still sitting there.
Yeah, so.
There, turn the camera and show the clock.
It's on the wall.
Yeah.
Still frozen.
Well, the hider goes off so much. It's
I remember this day. You got me
clock.
looking up something on the internet, so the screensaver went for a really long time. These guys have such funny looks on their faces.
That was the idea.
That, the method of drawing in the eyes like that, where you use like a line above or below.
Yeah.
And boy, can you get a lot of expression in
Well,
that.
that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's all the expression of it.
I had a lot of fun with that. Okay, so on this one, I think I have the tripod over my other shoulder. You got more of my face.
Oh, that's a little bit better, though. Now I can see what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, you can really see what's going on. And we got the back room. We got a videotape collection and all the stuff, but anything that's going on in the background, we can put into time lapses like this.
What's going on in the background?
Well, I don't know. Like maybe you're painting. Like one day you were painting something. I don't know if it got you on camera, but one day you were like painting up a board or prepping a board or whatever, or the lights coming in, or you got your mad mind of the artist on the wall, or nonsense or whatever, and it changes with the light. So there's always a story sort of happening within the story.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, I can see now what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, this is what I wanted to do. It's like, okay, it's just such a pain in the ass because I can't show you the raw files, like where the chair spun there. I can't show you the raw files on the chair spun there. I can't show you the raw files on the TV. It won't play the GoPros, and your computer won't either. So that's why it took me like an hour and a half to process these all out to just come up and show them to you.
Wow.
So that's why I was basically saving until I had like a whole handful of them. Do them all at once and bring up, and then you sort of get an idea of what we're making.
Yeah, it's funny how you can get a personality with very few lines.
Yeah, that's really...
that's the fun of those.
Those are just, they're absolutely a hoot. I think people would have fun coloring them. I'd have fun coloring it.
I'd like to see somebody color it.
Yeah.
And see how they perceived it.
Mm-hmm. Really neat.
I know how I would.
Like you said, maybe we can drop a one-room schoolhouse in the background or something like that. Like in the background like that. Okay, so this is the one. Remember I had the selfie stick clamped to the shelf?
Yeah.
These are ones from that series. It's kind of a neat angle. It's a little oblique to the screen. I suppose I could tilt it back a little bit, but if I get too forward into the shot, you see the big shiny ugly forehead I have? My bald spot's like thinned from the back of my head to the
You showing your ego?
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't know if people will watch videos if they see my ugly head in them. It's like, oh my god.
Do you really want to make it work? We got to get some lights jumping around as they're watching it.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
you can see lights jumping all over it.
Bleak,
Yeah. Doing cartwheels. And...
Yeah. Oh, look, you can see the light reflected on the ceiling in the printer over there. There, it's helping you hang the thing up on the wall, and you saw the light sort of change there for a second. At first I thought, like, well, should I edit those out or should I leave them in? I kind of like them intrinsic. Oh, here's
I like that.
This was just the full moon the other night. I needed to burn off some battery because there's like a quarter battery
Somebody
left.
got smoke, I guess.
It was the clouds, basically.
Is that the clouds going by?
Yeah, that's the clouds going by with the full moon.
It looks like smoke going by, doesn't it?
Isn't that amazing? Okay, and then this was the last nice day before it snowed. It was a really warm Indian summer day. And you just know that winter's on the rise. So I went out and filmed the Garden of Evil. The deer go back and forth a little bit. I don't think I got the pheasants. You said it was out there, but I don't think I got it that day.
They go by. They're going to go by fast, though.
Yeah. So the deer just pops in and out.
Yeah.
I think
there he is.
This might have been like 2-second intervals.
Oh, geez, it's getting darker.
Yeah, you can see that it went from the nice day to the chill was in the air by this point. I keep thinking ones like these would be maybe neat with musical scores to them. I was doing a lot of them
I
with
have
free
no idea
music,
how
like-
you'd use that.
Yeah.
I
Well, they're usually a minute, or depending on what I have space for, a minute to 2 minutes long. So it's like a music video length. Now, I have a whole bunch of the grass dancing, and I thought about editing them in a
yeah,
row.
you'd have to cut them in and out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's ever getting dark there.
Yeah, you can totally see that. Okay, now, this series is our advancement through our playing with our logo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, is that me pointing out what to do?
Yeah. Now, somewhere we have audio of what we were doing during that one. Now,
Did you do what we were talking about, the capture?
yeah, in that one. And this one I'm sort of interested in. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Okay, and then here I was fooling around with the other day, getting the arrow on it. Actually keeps bugging me to finish it and send it in, so I gotta get in the mood to go polish it off.
What did she do that day with it?
She made a really nice one of her own.
What's it?
It was sort of everything over top of the maple leaf. She got the composition nice. It's pretty plain though. But probably wouldn't because it's
Plain.
what they want. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is neat. You can really this shows you how much fiddling goes around into just like trying to figure out things. You notice we take the rainbow through the arrow and through the island and through the background, and it's like, does any of this make sense? Does it look good? I don't have the imagination to see all those things. Like I can conceive of trying them, but then I have to see it on the screen to see if it's going to work or not. It's just sort of my way of figuring things. I like the nice thing is you'll see us. We'll zoom in and out and see if it works at different levels and stuff like that. I actually thought it was a funny nod to the old Uck designs, and I said, "Yeah, exactly." I was totally. Oh, here's me doing my black painting the other day. What's your Russian black painting story? Oh, remember the day I left my camera out in the field?
Yeah.
This is what I got. So I gone out, that was me going around photographing all kinds of textures to put on T-shirts, and I did. I put a whole bunch of those.
Who's
on
running getting the power off of that thing?
I think that's what helps powers Joe's garage.
Yeah.
It moves about every 10 minutes to track the sun on a sunny day. I've got a whole bunch of different shots with it.
The
tracking
skies,
the sun. The sky is extraordinary.
it's just a trip.
Yeah.
The skies are wonderful down there.
Yeah. Again, I thought like music videos.
That, what I tell you, the movie with Watermark?
Yeah. Yeah, they just sort of like
do
these
a
little
lot of
scenes or
that
whatever.
in that.
Yeah.
But it is very well done.
Do you know what? That was one of the ones that I should add that to my list of movies to look up. I really wanted to see that Watermark when you told me about it. That's when I started putting watermarks in all of our movies and stuff to make sure that
It's a good movie.
identify.
If you like,
I can't believe the lines.
it's
in
just
this
beautiful. Just clouds
Yeah.
going by is beautiful.
Oh, and there's. I think this is the last one. The light on the door. I meant to bring the ones of the fish, but here's your twinkling light on the door.
Jesus.
I love the way it creeps. Like it's moving its way across, and then there's the fast little lights that dance across. I could make my own watermark movie. Like I could just sit and collect this footage, and then edit together pieces of it, just like strings of it, into a.
That's
your
what
2-hour
I-
epic is just it plays music and it shows you images. Like
That's what I wanted to do with those old video games.
yeah,
It's just cuts from here and there. And
yeah. Look, it looks like mountains on fire down there. It's just
it's disappearing.
Yeah, we're just about to lose it. Yeah, it's like Time, the movie or something like that, and it's just all these scenes of time passing.
Jesus.
So that gives you an idea of what we got to work with for podcast material. I'm not saying we have to use any of it or all of it, but that's basically what we have. Now, the other thing is, and I don't know about this, like with our audio, I'll go listen to it. I think I could cut a lot of that audio and just put it as the background of the videos, and there's podcasts. It's just us talking about the videos. And I think that's perfectly legitimate. I put a little start on them. Just say, this is coloring Manitoulin, or this is working on a logo or whatever, and just make it into content. But it depends. Like, I mean, okay, have we talked enough?
Yeah.
Okay. We hope you enjoyed our postcards and shit. Stick around for a special 5-episode preview of our latest incarnation, Jack and Dylon's Daily Video Podcast. Hi, it's Jack and Dylon. We're artists living in the rural wilderness of Canada. Thank you for helping us share our daily video podcast.
Our first podcast was called Enjoying Postcards, and we're continuing on with that. But we're adding also Coloring Manitoulin.
Now, this is our 2017 Manitoulin Island coloring book, and also the first time I've drawn a project with my father, so please keep watching the unfolding story of our continuing education. And thanks for watching White's TV. We'll see you on the flip side. Kind of a lame ending, but...
Well, you can take that out, though.
Yeah, I can take that out.
Now, do you want to do another one? Or?
We thought our fans might enjoy a behind-the-scenes look at some of the source material that we're going to use for coloring Manitoulin. And that's our 2017 Manitoulin Island coloring book. Here we got a scrapbook full of some Jack White sketches, and hopefully he's going to tell us something about them. Now, these are sketches that you use mostly for collages.
Collages and paintings.
So they probably go back to sometime 1980 or so to present.
Oh, I have no idea. I just stuck things together in the book when I found them.
Now, this page has a lot of musicians on it. I can see a fiddler on there.
Oh, I got into doing fiddlers on everything. Do you remember in our pocket art, we put in one of my fiddler things? Remember the
Fiddler
pocket
on
art?
a cold tin car.
Fiddler on the roof, something like that, wasn't it?
There you go. Yeah, we'll show a close-up of that one. Can we look at some of the other pictures just to get an example? You got body language, and I'm sure there's going to be some architecture.
There's some...
P.S. I lied. To view more episodes of Jack and Dylon's daily video podcast, visit us online, enjoyingpostcards.whitesonline.com.